Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Thank you for your understanding of my flexible start time. This is going to be a group energy healing where I'm healing 130 people in 12 different countries. And it functions as an all levels energy healing walkthrough where for most of the live stream I'll be doing the healing and talking out loud as I heal. So I'm walking you through what I'm doing. So if you wanted to, you could heal yourself as you watch. And we're going to heal our four essentials, of course, meaning grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair, because that's what helps you. That's sort of like the foundation to get you all set and safe and present. And then we will do sort of fine tuning fun stuff having to do with the theme. And the theme of this set of 3 healings, actually this is the second in the set of 3 healings, the theme is Let Angels Help More, non-resistance, and surfing energy shifts with more grace and ease. So kind of like being okay with change. Energy shifts, I haven't really defined what the heck an energy shift is. It's one of those terms that's used in a lot of different ways. There are energy shifts created by you, and then there are energy shifts created by large groups of people. There are energy shifts created by the earth in the moon, you know, in like change of seasons kind of shifts or full moon kind of shift. So with my kind of work, I'm always emphasizing that you can regulate your energy. And so even if something external to you is shifting, like summer to fall, or Mercury goes into retrograde, you know how to do your 4 essentials, you know how to fine tune, so there's no need to be like falling upside down and freaking out, because you know how to regulate your energy. So a shift in external energies needn't be a problem. Also, like I said, you can create your own energy shift because you're bringing in positive change energy, you're clearing out old baggage from this and past lives, you're healing old wounds from this and past lives, and that creates an energy shift internally for you. And so in this healing, in the first healing 2 days ago, we didn't do much explicitly with energy shifts. I mean, although letting angels help and non-resistance inherently support energy shifts and you being able to handle energy shifts, but today we will do it a little more head-on, techniques to help you handle energy shifts. For example, clearing fears, like fear of the unknown, fear of losing control, fear of disappointing others, fear of your own success, fear of failure, either literally or just perceived failure. So I think that's a part of why people don't like energy shifts, or why at least a part of their subconscious, a significant part of their subconscious, does not like an energy shift, is because it's unknown. Like what's the way it is now, it might not be great, but it's familiar. And so you know what to expect. And so that can be, you can kind of ground to the familiar in a way. I mean, literally you ground to the core of the earth, hopefully, but like having patterns can be comforting, right? But you can create patterns that are positive and healthy, that are there even if there is an energy shift. Like say you like on Mondays. sort of a joke between me and Lorenzo, my husband. I call Mondays, I call them money moving Mondays because on the weekend, you know, I get paid through PayPal mostly. And so on the weekend, PayPal just holds on to my money and doesn't give it to me. And, then they like make money on stock trades in China or somewhere or Japan or somewhere like early Monday morning before it's Monday morning for me. So I can't do anything with some of my money because they have it. So it's not, but on Monday I get to move my money. My money shows up in my bank or in PayPal and I can start the transfer, whatever. So it's a money moving Monday for me. So that's a pattern that I've established that I just amuses me. So I make sure that, if I have money to get moving, I go and get it moving on my money moving Mondays. So it's just an example of one way that, to make positive patterns for yourself that you can use as a comforting sense of familiar. So you don't have to hang on to the status quo. You don't have to depend on, society around you vibrating the same way or the earth vibrating the same way, because some things you can't, maybe, like there's a volcano going off in Hawaii now that it, hasn't gone off in 3 decades. Or I'm not sure how many decades, but I think it's 3. So there are energy shifts and it's good. So this healing will especially help you to not be flustered by those and, at all, which will be cool. I think also we'll work stepping stones again. We did work stepping stones 2 days ago in the first healing on Friday, where I called it stepping stones exercise or stepping stones technique or something. But there are angel suggested next steps for you, like little baby steps. The angels are like, okay, well, first do this, then do this, then do this, and so they'll just suggest 1 or 2 or 3 steps to get you going. Because sometimes if you think of the big picture, either A, you don't have clarity about the big picture, or B, you do, but it's kind of overwhelming, whatever. So thinking of the immediate next steps that are approachable, so they're immediate baby steps, can really get you going and break some inertia, and create momentum. So we worked on clearing all sorts of energies that could be in the way of you acting on those next steps from the angels, and you might not know the next steps consciously, but subconsciously. You can be open to it subconsciously, and then you just find yourself, cleaning out a certain cabinet, or you find yourself, organizing a countertop that you haven't, done in 2 months or something. So that's angel suggested next steps or stepping stones, and working that is sort of clearing the energy so you can imagine yourself, imagine like 3 stepping stones that represent little baby steps that your angels are suggesting for you. You don't have to know what they are, but see if can like the little mini you that you're imagining step on the first one, and then from that one to the second one, and then from that one to the third one. Because sometimes you can't step on any of them, you're just like too freaking out, and sometimes you step on 1 and 2 but not the third, you're freaking out with that one. So we're going to work more about that. This time we're going to clear DEBs. DEBs is an acronym, DEB apostrophe S, DEBs, deep energy blocks. So energy blocks that are in the back of your aura that you've repressed back there. So you've really shoved them down, really compressed them back there because you don't want to deal with them. And so sometimes these next steps, the reason why you haven't done them yet is because too many DEBs are triggered by them. Like it's just like, ugh, for some reason, it just seems like the hardest thing ever, even though once you clear the DEBs, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, why did I think that was so hard? So we're going to do that. So we're going to clear the fears that can be triggered by energy shifts, and we're going to clear DEBs so that the angel, suggested baby steps are not off-putting and you're more likely to act on them. And we're also going to do clearing family burdens, which is always a nice thing to do. It's pretty fascinating too. Like, you can have a block in a certain, like if I take a sample person, has a block on her like right shoulder, and her dad has that block, and her dad's dad has that block right in that same spot, and your dad's dad. So it's like, and even, like her dad's dad is in heaven now, and her dad's dad is in his next life now, but they still have this, right shoulder energy block for some reason. It's like, because people, they don't give all their energy blocks to their kids, but for some reason, stuff that's, been in the family for generations, like drama, burdens, whatever. Some parents manage to not give that to their children, but a lot of parents do give it to their children right from the get-go, like right as part of like the lifetime agreements between the parents and that child, at conception. There's a lot of transferring of copies of family burdens, and it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. It's basically because they're not ready to clear that stuff at that moment, and so, it's not necessarily that they want you oppressed in the same way. It's just they don't want to be so triggered by being around you when you're not stuck in that way. So if you're stuck in the same way, then it doesn't sort of trigger them. But, you don't have to keep carrying those family burdens, and actually it is in everybody's best interest that you don't, because then your siblings that also got that same burden, chances are some burdens are just like for all the daughters in the family, or for all the boys in the family, or some of them is for all the kids in the family. Depends on whatever way they were stuck. But if you clear a certain family burden, it sort of sets off this ripple effect of inspiration that another family member may or may not, be inspired by, and let their angels get rid of their burden too. So you could be helping your siblings, your parents, your parents' parents, your parents' parents' parents. Which, that's cool too. It's cool to unburden yourself, and then it's cool to think that, wow, that'll help this other person too, so then their next life is easier a little bit, or maybe they'll be less creatively blocked, or they'll be less phobic, or they'll be less, OCD, or, whatever. So, less cranky. So it's nice. So clearing family burdens, that's what that is. And we'll definitely do that this time. We've done it in other healings too. If you search Janet Wright, clear family burdens, probably other things will come up. So there are other things, but they're kind of all on the maybe list. I'm gonna just sort of see how it goes. But I have lots of good things that might be a part of this healing. We'll see. Yeah, so we'll see. So thanks for all my hellos. Good evening from Ireland. Hi Janet, good morning from Las Vegas. I can see and hear you. Hello from Kansas City. Hey Janet, we can see and hear you in cold Chicago. Oh. How cold? How cold is cold? Here it's it was below freezing, but only a few degrees last night below freezing, and now it's probably a few degrees above freezing. It looks kind of gloomy out though. Very cloudy. Someone says, hi Janet, I can see and hear you. It's windy 3 degrees centigrade in Toronto, 38 Fahrenheit. Look at you. Thank you so much. So I don't have to look it up. So windy 3 centigrade, 38 Fahrenheit in Toronto, but we have sun and no snow, so I'll take it. Yeah, yeah, that is nice. But the windy, that is hard. Can see and hear you from Evergreen, Colorado. 45 degrees Fahrenheit, partly sunny. That's nice. Whole bunch of emojis. Yay healing. Yes, yay healing indeed. Someone else says hello. Hello to you. Someone says Chicago is 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's a little nippy. Just a few degrees above freezing. Yeah, that might be what we're at too. We had snow, but not a lot. Like, you know, an inch on one day and then an inch on another day, but it melted in between. So we just have, you know, like patchy snow that's left over, which is okay. I had to drive home in the dark and it was snowing really hard on Wednesday of this past week. And we don't have a lot of street lights here because it's not like a city. And so it's very hilly. And at night the roads are very dark. And my headlights for my car were illuminating all the snow falling. And there was so much snow falling. So it was like all this white coming at me. And then just the darkness. For some reason, the fat snowflakes were like hogging up all the light. So all I could see was like snowflakes against like almost total darkness. It was so crazy. I was like praying my butt off on the way home. I was like, I am letting angels protect me. I am letting angels protect me. I am a safe and confident driver. I am a safe and confident driver. Because, I mean, you know, when we lived in Chicago, you know, you'd have to drive in a snowstorm fairly often, you know, but there's so many streetlights everywhere that it's just a really different situation. And plus, it's so flat in Chicago. So, and the roads are pretty, you know, straight. So, anyway, fun times. But that was an example of a challenge that I was meant to have, not one that, you know, like my resistance created. Although I do get those too, of course. But that one was some kind of a challenge the angels felt I needed to go through. I didn't know it ahead of time, though. I guess that was part of the challenge, to handle the surprise of it all. Let's see if it triggered me too much or not. But anyway, enough fun stories about non-resistance when you're driving and confidence when you're driving, use of affirmations when you're driving, and angel protection. All right. So yeah. So that's that. So I'm just gonna get my sheets put out of all the people that I'm healing. I have their names on there, so that helps me read people when I see their names. It's almost the end of the year. How weird is that? I bought all my new wall calendars. They're all ready to go. I very much like wall calendars. I very much like wall calendars, meaning I think I have like 4 in the house, and we don't have a big house. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. All right. Okay, so now we'll do a couple minutes, like 3 minutes of quiet time. So I hope you enjoy it like I do. You can just relax, do whatever you want. During the end of that quiet time, towards the end of that, I'll start the healing you'll see my hands go up like that, so you know I've started the healing. And then soon after that, I'll start talking out loud and explaining what I'm doing, and the whole rest of it is the healing walkthrough. Okie doke, so thank you for your patience with my 3 minutes of quiet time. Okay, thanks for waiting. So when you heal yourself, you can make a copy out in front of you of what you're healing. You don't have to, but it's a really efficient way to do it. So there's that. So you make a copy out in front of you of your 17 auras, which is your physical body aura, your astral body aura, and then 15 Wei Qi auras that help with strong boundaries. Wei Qi is Weichi, Wei Qi. 15 Wei Qi auras. So you just imagine those 17 auras out in front of you. If you're mostly present, they look like they're in the same place. So if like you didn't really see super well, it would just look like one aura as opposed to 17 auras in the same place. And then you have your physical body inside that, your astral body inside that, and your grounding. You have two groundings. Your astral body aura has one grounding, and your physical body aura has one grounding. And they both hopefully are wide and flowing all the way down to the core of the earth, but let's work on that now. Let's do grounding, which is the first of the 4 essentials that I talk about. Okay, so grounding, just recreate your grounding, make it nice and big and wide. Both groundings, astral and physical. Make them nice and big and wide all the way down to the core of the earth, red or orange or yellow. You can test out each of the 3 colors if you want, see which one you feel flows better for you right now. And then you just make a copy up in front of you of those groundings. And again, they look like one grounding because they're 2 groundings in the same place. But if you were curious about how one was versus the other, you could just view one at a time. Because sometimes one is blocked and not the other, but anyway, you're using gold light from your hands as you work. Gold light, your hands generate a lot of energy because you have these big energy. You have a big energy center in the palm of each hand, plus you have fingertip chakras, one in each fingertip. And so they generate a lot of energy. And chakras spin, they have round openings. It's like an open cylinder shape. So the round opening, it generates a lot of energy that comes out that round opening. So you set your hand chakras or your fingertip chakras to be a metallic gold color. And if the color of the chakra is that color, then that's the color they're generating. So then you have your copy of your new groundings out in front of you, and you just use the gold light. And you comb through those groundings. You want to find the energy blocks and melt them away. And you can do this even if you can't see energy yet. I always try to remember to say see energy yet, because the more present you get, the better your abilities work. So don't kind of give up on being able to see your own energy. At some point you'll get present enough that you'll be able to have better intuition, better vision, all that stuff. So this is unblocking your grounding. You just imagine the blocks and you melt them with gold light. And you can also get energy blocks in the bottom of each aura layer of those regular auras, or I suppose the bottom of the Wei Qi auras. So any of the 17 auras, you can get blocks down here that especially block the releasing and the use of your grounding. So, you know, as if you're like, I have a good like this. So it's like if you had an energy block, it would sort of function like this. So like your energy couldn't go past the energy block. So we don't want that, right? So you can unblock, especially the bottom of all your 17 auras. Like maybe the bottom third of all your 17 auras. So again, this is grounding, unblocking. You're finding just, you can like even sweep it all into one big pile, all the junk in your grounding, all the blocks. and just melt it all. And if some of it doesn't clear, you can just sweep it all in one area, wrap it up in gold light, and hand it to your angels. Just say, angels, here you go. And take a few deep breaths. And imagine, breathing into all your major joints of your body. All right, so that was grounding, unblocking, grounding and grounding, unblocking. So then indie grounding. Indie grounding is just more work on your grounding at specifically the outer perimeter, the outer surface of both groundings as they go down. You just use lots of gold light around that outer surface and melt away connections between your grounding and other people's grounding. And also you may have some hard objects stuck in there, and that would block the flow and make it easier for people to access your grounding as well. So just melt away any attachments to other people and any hard objects in your grounding. And if you feel like you need to explain to somebody because they keep reattaching to your grounding or trying to, just say, hey, you're going to be much stronger if you have separate grounding. So ask your angels for help with grounding. Let your angels help you with grounding. So that's indie grounding, indie for independent grounding. So now let's do the second of the 4 essentials. So we did grounding. So now let's do aura repair of all 17 of your auras. So you just imagine all of them out in front of you, your 17 auras, your physical body aura, your astral body aura, and your 15 Wei Qi auras. And you just, you can comb through them at first just to get a sense of where the rips are. But the technique we're going to use doesn't require you to really know where the rips are. You'll be able to heal them anyway, repair them anyway. So rips in your aura happen when people throw energy or throw energy plus hard objects, hard energy objects. They do that because they're stuck and, triggered, and it's largely a subconscious thing that people do. Not good karma to do, but, it happens. So we can use composite copy technique. So you just imagine one rip and have it with your intention represent all the rips in your 17 auras that you need to repair right now. So you have your one rip that represents all the rips that you need to repair, and you can clean out that rip with gold light. And also clean it out with sticky gold wax. And sticky gold wax is gold light from your hands that hardens and sticks to whatever's not used, so that you can remove it easily like a big lump. So just fill up this composite copy rip with sticky gold wax, have it stick to everything that's not you, and just lift all that out, the wax and the junk, and give it to your angels. The angels, here you go. And let's just do it a second time to be thorough. So fill up this composite copy rip with sticky gold wax, have it stick to everything that's not you, and lift it all out at once. Angels, here you go. And then, so now this rip should be pretty cleaned out, and so you'll be able to make very good contact with the gold light. And so that gold light will start this rip growing back and repairing itself. And just a heads up, this is early December. December is probably the month where people throw energy at each other the most. Again, very bad karma to do. Do not recommend that you would do that to anyone, but I'm just saying a lot of people get very triggered in December, at least in the US, because of partially, I mean, there's a lot of sort of consumer pressure, you know, buy, buy, buy. There's a lot of head games that marketing departments are playing that you need to buy everyone you know something, and you know, it has to be perfect, and then you have to entertain, and that has to be done perfectly, and then you have to see every single family member no matter where they live, and that has to be done perfectly. So people get a lot of baggage triggered and they throw a lot of energy. Not everybody, but it's pretty common. So aura repair is your friend, especially in December. So anyway, so that was repairing the rips. Now you may have a few more rips that still didn't repair, so we'll quickly do that whole process again with the composite copy rip. So the leftover rips that you still have, make one rip represent all those leftover rips, and then use sticky gold wax, clean out all those rips, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. More sticky gold wax, have it stick to all the junk. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. Use gold light to finish up and heal those leftover rips. Have them grow back and repair. Okay, good job. So that's sort of the most basic form of aura repair. You can learn it quickly so that you can do it, you know, as often as you need to. You don't have to sit down and have a big, 40-minute meditation over it. You can just really quickly do it while you're in the bathroom or something. Or while you're waiting for something to heat up in the microwave. Okay, so then there can be aura bruising and aura scarring left over. And that's just sort of hardness left over. Scarring is at the surface of one of your auras in a certain spot. And bruising would be more internal in those two regular auras, astral and physical, that have layers to them. If someone throws energy and it doesn't rip all the way, but it could still, like, some of the force can cause a compression in several layers at once in a certain location. So we don't want that, because hard energy is more weak than flowing energy. So just put copies of all that junk all in one spot. So just, so okay, this is, put all your copies of all your aura scarring and all your aura bruising in one big glorious pile, and then just use cold light to melt it away. One gorgeous pile of all that stuck bruising and scarring. And just use lots of gold light. Just let it melt away. And if you have any aura bruising and aura scarring left over, just make another pile. Melt that away. Any more aura bruising and aura scarring. Okay, if you have any left over after that, just say, angels, help me heal this. All right, and then you could have hard objects. We've removed hard objects like in your grounding already, but let's just do it everywhere with sticky gold wax, and we can just get other things at the same time, like energy cords, evasive beings, evasive people, just anything you're ready to get rid of. Just so sticky gold wax, everything. The outer surface of all your auras, the outer surface of your groundings, inside everywhere. And just have the wax stick to all the hard junk that you're ready to get rid of, and invasive people and invasive beings, have it stick to all that. And just move it all out at once, the junk and the wax, and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And do a couple deep breaths into your body. And one more time, sticky gold wax everything, the outer surfaces, and then inside everywhere. have it stick to all the junk, all the hard stuff, all the invasive stuff. Move out the junk and the wax. Angels, here you go. And then sometimes when you remove hard stuff, especially from the outer surface, it causes a little bit of a hole, leaves a gash. So just go ahead and finish up the repair at the outer surface of your auras. Because you don't want any leaks. Leaks, you know, literally drain your energy, which makes it harder to do simple tasks. Leaks also can, I mean, people can kind of sense that subconsciously, so it sort of makes you look like you don't have your act together if you have a lot of energy leaking, because you don't. It can also be perceived by, you know, invasive people, invasive beings, and they can, you know, try to take advantage of that, so you don't want leaks. So just let them all mend up with the gold light. All right, good job. You can unblock your grounding just for a moment. All right, so that was aura repair. So now you could just redo your gold buffer zones, which just takes a second. And there is an 18-minute reference video that I will link below in the comment section with the healing summary. Within a day, in the comment section, there will be a detailed healing summary that I write up. And then after the summary, there's optional video links. And that's where I'll put the gold buffer zones video, plus in the healing summary, like right at this point, I'll put also there. And it's just an 18-minute video that teaches you how to make gold buffer zones and then how to do them really quickly. And they slow the rate of aura damage because they're buffers. So they take the heat first and then you quickly recreate them. All right, good. So creative ring repair is the third essential that is really good to do. Creative rings are above your head, 1, 2, 3, and they're gold, and they generate gold light, which goes downward and helps out all your major chakras along your spine, especially your 7th chakra. And because of its location, it's really key, your creative rings, and you have to, your 7th chakra sends energy upward through the creative rings. So if they're too blocked, that's really hard to do, and the energy has to detour around, and it makes you feel kind of foggy-headed and weird. And it can also make it harder for you to wake up easily and be clear-headed and functional as soon as possible after you wake up if your creative rings are too blocked, because when you wake up, your spirit, you as a spirit, your astral body comes in through the top of your aura, through your creative rings, into your 7th chakra of your physical body and into your other physical body chakras. So you come in downward like this. And so if this is too blocked and weird, then it's like a really weird, hard experience. Okay, so we don't want that. So creative rings. Make a copy of your 3 creative rings out in front of you and just use so much gold light. Melt away cords from other people, cords from invasive beings. Repair the rings with gold light. The rings can have like big pieces missing or just little cracks or little chips or scratches in them. And keep melting cords and keep repairing and unblocking. So again, what we're doing is creative ring repair and unblocking. And especially melting quartz going into these creative rings. And if you have invasive beings trying to mess with the creative rings, like courting them or trying to hang on to them, just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my creative rings? And you know, somebody in their survey, they were talking about how they're kind of freaked out by that idea of invasive beings. And you know, if it feels so much better when they're gone, oh my God, that means they're so powerful, and oh my God, my whole life I'll have to be so vigilant, and I can never do it, and you know. So, you know, I wish I didn't have to mention invasive beings because there is that potential that people just wig out about it. I would say if you can't stop wigging out about it, maybe this kind of work is not positive for you because you're wigging out too much about the fact that invasive beings exist. If you can try to be glass half full about it, then I think it can really be a good quality of life thing to just, you know, have it be part of your maintenance. Like you brush your teeth, you're not like phobic about plaque all the time, right? You brush your teeth and that's that, you know? So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. You're way bigger than these invasive beings. And that's a fact. So, you know, the fact that when you clean them out, you feel better, I don't know how that has to be a negative. You know, the more present you get, the easier it is, the quicker it is to clear them out. So it just is what it is, you know? I mean, you have to brush your teeth every day. I don't know what to tell you. You don't have to clean out invasive beings, but you do feel better when you do it. So, you know. So what we're doing is we're just finishing up creative ring work. I didn't talk about it, but I'm repairing the undersides of the creative rings too. I just didn't flip over my copy. You could flip over your copy of your creative rings so you can see the little scratches on the underside, and then just use gold light to help the slashes heal up. You get little scratch marks on the underside of the creative rings. And you can turn your copy right side up again if you want. And just check with your intuition, you know, am I generating enough gold light with these creative rings to, you know, give me that extra focus and pep that I need? All right, good. So that was creative ring repair and unblocking, and of course melting quartz from your creative rings, and having beings recycled, and a little side speech about beings. And being glass half full about it. Chakra repair. So I do have a standalone video on creative ring repair and unblocking, and I have a standalone video on chakra repair as well. They're like 13 minutes, 14, 11 minutes, something like that, each one. So let's do chakra repair. How about that? So basic shape of a chakra is an open cylinder like this. Cylinder, round opening, round opening. Even the ones like in your fingertips, they're just smaller. Even the ones in your shoulder energy channel, or the acupuncture points in your body. Those are little chakras as well. I call them minor chakras just because they're not the 7 major chakras along your spine, but they're very important, these acupuncture points in your body. Okay, so those are all your major and minor chakras, and that's what we're going to repair and unblock. Now, So you make a copy, a composite copy, and you have your intention be, okay, this copy represents all the major and minor chakras in my body and spirit. And you just use lots of gold light and melt the cords going into these chakras, and repair any cracks or scratches or missing pieces. Just let the gold light inspire the chakras to heal themselves and repair themselves. And see if you're sort of sitting back, like is your energy, because you don't want your energy too much to be in this copy that you're working. You want to just be in your physical body. That's where you're strongest, is if you're centered in your physical body. And then just let the gold light from your hands do the repair work on the chakras. And keep melting cords going into these chakras. And the energy blocks can be wrapped around the outside of the cylinder. You can melt those, or they could be blocking those round openings. You can melt those with gold light. And also the energy blocks can be jammed inside the chakra, so you can melt those. And of course, you're using gold light from your hands to melt all these energy blocks. And keep melting cords. The only cord that is definitely productive and healthy is a first chakra cord between a parent and their young child, like 13 years or younger. If your kid is grown up, that would not be healthy for you to still cord their first chakra. So cut it out. All right, and so now we could think about the theme and do special unblocking for the theme. So you have your copy representing all your major and minor chakras, and just imagine any energy blocks that are in the way of you letting the angels help you. And just lift out those energy blocks and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And again, any blocks in the way of you letting angels help, and lift those out, give them to your angels. And then non-resistance is another part of our theme. So any energy blocks that are causing resistance that are in your chakras, just lift out those resistance energy blocks and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, any energy blocks causing resistance, just lift those out of your chakras, give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And then surfing energy shifts more easily. Any energy blocks in the way of that, just lift those out. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Any energy blocks in the way of you surfing energy shifts more easily, just lift out those blocks. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. All right, good job. So you can blow up that copy of your chakras. Or give it to your angels if you don't like blowing it up. Oh, right, good job. Woo-hoo. So that was our 4 essentials: grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair. 4 essentials. And it's ideal if you just kind of learn how to do it without my walkthrough. I mean, if you like the walkthrough, that's fine, of course. But, the walkthrough took, almost a half hour. And there can definitely be times when it would be very advantageous for you to do your 4 essentials, but you don't have a half hour to do it. You just have like 3 minutes. And that's definitely possible to do. You just use your intuition, okay, how's my aura? My auras are all fine. How are my how's my creative rings? Oh, my creative rings got cracked. Okay, let me repair my creative rings. Boom, 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 melt cords, relax the flaps, done. Okay, how are my chakras? The major ones are fine. The minor ones, some of them are screwed up. Let me repair all my major and minor ones all at once. Do. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Okay, that's done. Okay, so it has my grounding, red or orange, yellow, red, orange, yellow. Okay, that one's the better color for me right now. I'm done. I did my 4 essentials. Okay, that was what, 1 minute? So, just try to practice. I mean, if you like the walkthroughs, who am I to say don't use my walkthroughs? That's why I make them. But I'm just saying it's nice to be able to do the fast version too, with your intuition and just hurry it up. Because life happens. People throw energy, and it's good to be able to fix yourself up really quickly. All right, so that was a little side speech about how nice it is to be able to freestyle. I call it freestyling when you just do it yourself without the walkthrough. Okay, so let's do the first thing I was overviewing, which is clearing fear that gets in the way of you surfing energy shifts well. And I already explained in the intro the different types of energy shifts that happen. Some are created by nature, some are created by society, some are created by your own growth and change. Some are created by nature, I already said, but like seasons with nature, but also like big events like volcano explosions and stuff like that, or tornadoes or hurricanes. Pandemic could cause an energy shift, right? So anyway, let's clear all sorts of fear that can trigger with those energy shifts. Basically, it's like people can get triggered about being triggered. It's like, say there are wildfires. That happens in the U.S. Certainly in Europe too. They had wildfire issues this past summer. But there can be wildfires that are big because of the ground is too dry, and then it gets too hot, and then a fire starts, and then it spreads and spreads and spreads, and that can be pretty dangerous, for people's homes and people's lives. So that can be triggering, Gee, I don't want my house burned up because that would really be inconvenient for me. I don't want to die, right? So that's triggering, right? But you don't want to be triggered about being triggered. Like, you don't want to go, oh my God, I feel bad. Oh, I feel bad. Like spiral with it. And my dog, Abel, I don't want to say his name really loud, but he's a really classic example of like spiraling. So something will irritate him and, upset him or disturb him. And then he'll just lock into so much resistance about it. He makes it like 40 times worse for himself than it really is. Because he gets stuck about being stuck. He gets, afraid of being triggered. He just really flips out and loses his cool. So we don't want that. His energy shifts happen, and ideally, you still have a life to live, and you want to live a good life. You want to enjoy yourself as much as you can, and be ready when there is a disaster. That you want to be highly functional, right? So that's my little explanation, blah 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 part. So now let's do the clearing. So that was explaining. So now let's do. All right. So redo your grounding really quickly. Red or orange or yellow, nice and wide and flowing. Unblock it really quickly. Just imagine the blocks in your grounding that have triggered because I was blabbing on about hurricanes and pandemics. Now just imagine the blocks you're grounding and melt them with gold light. Okay, good job. So we're going to keep this simple. You can do it two ways. We're going to be clearing energy blocks about each of these things I say. But you could do it with like a big gold blanket, or, you know, just put the blocks out in front of you and blow them up, or put the blocks in front of you in piles and melt them with gold light. Or you could use that safe bomb exploding chamber where it, you know, it's like this big strong gold box that has like a little viewing window for you, and you shove all the junk in there and you just blow it up with your little remote control and blow up all that you just put in there. And then you put more in and blow it up again. You know, so I'm not going to use the safe bomb exploding chamber. I'm just going to put the blocks out in front and melt them. But the whole time you could use safe bomb exploding chamber if you prefer. Okay, so put the blocks out in front of you about your fear of the unknown. So energy blocks that you have from this life or past lives, any energy in your space that makes you fear the unknown. Fear like, well, I don't know what that's going to be like. You know, just all the fear that comes up for that, just make big piles out in front of you and melt it away with gold light. You can bring up red earth energy too and soak it in red earth energy from the core of the earth and gold light. So you're melting away energy blocks that cause you to fear the unknown. So again, any energy blocks that cause you to fear the unknown. And just put those energy blocks out in front of you. You can blow them up, you can melt them with gold light. All right, so that was clearing energy blocks for fear of the unknown. So then we will do clearing energy blocks about disappointing other people. Heaven forbid anyone be disappointed with you, right? So sometimes people get stuck about, like, I don't want to disappoint a certain person in particular, like mommy or daddy, or sometimes it's just anybody. You hate to disappoint anybody. So just put out in front of you any blocked energy that makes you really stuck about that, that makes you afraid of disappointing yourself or afraid of disappointing others, specific people or anybody. So any energy blocks about disappointing other people, and just melt those away or blow them up. If you're healing someone else, do not blow up their stuff, just melt it with gold light. But if you're healing yourself, you can blow up or melt, whatever you prefer. So we are doing melting energy blocks that cause you to resist or be afraid of disappointing other people. And this is especially relevant when the energy shift is your growth and change. And so you don't know that, you know, if you change, maybe you'll disappoint everybody. Maybe something you'll do, no one will like, you know, oh my gosh, so I can't change. So put out in front of you any energy blocks that cause you to fear disappointing people. And just melt those energy blocks. Okay, good job. So that was melting energy blocks that cause you to fear disappointing other people. So now let's do energy blocks that cause you to fear failure, perceived failure or literal failure. And, you know, people say, you know, like your failures, you learn from them, ideally, so they can help you grow. You know, sometimes you just, it's kind of inevitable. You know, certain things, it's just sort of a process of experimentation to find out what works. And so technically there's a lot of failure along the way. But anyway, you can really get stuck about like, oh my God, I don't want to fail. Or I don't want anyone to think that I failed. I don't want to fail my parents. I don't want to fail, you know, blah, 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 my partner. So just put out in front of you any energy that makes you stuck about failing, makes you resist failing, makes you fear failing, and blow it up or melt it away with gold light. Any fear of failure, just melt it away. No need to freak yourself out. Again, any more energy that you have about fear of failure, and just melt that away. You could have baggage about failing that you feel like in the past, in a certain part of your life you failed. So any baggage you have about past failures, you can melt that too. All right. Cool. So that was clearing any fear of failure and baggage about past failures. So now we will do the flip side of that. Any baggage or fear about success. Maybe you are worried about what's going to happen if you succeed at something. Maybe people will expect even more, and so it'll be a bigger problem. Or maybe you'll succeed and it will be terrifying because, someone will notice you and you're trying to hide, or, whatever. So there can be a lot of sort of mostly irrational things that causing you to subconsciously fear your own success. So let's get rid of that stuff. That seems really counterproductive. So put out in front of you all your fear of success. And these are irrational fears. It's not like, your logic. So just, get out in front of you all these energy blocks causing you to fear success. And just make a big pile or several piles and melt them with cold light or blow them up. Any fear of success. Okay, so breathe into every joint in your body. Reground. Let's do that one more time. So any fear that you have, and a lot of this is going to be subconscious, most likely, but any fear that you have about succeeding. Like, what does that mean? If I get good at something, then the unknown things will occur. So just put out in front of you any fear of success that you have on any level for any reason, even just blocks that are from past lives. So any fear of success that you have, just put out in front of you and blow it up or melt it with gold light. And if you have any left over, just say, angels, help me with this. And then I already mentioned this a little bit a minute ago when I was introducing the whole fear of energy shifts thing. But you can have a fear of being triggered, like being stuck about being stuck. Like, oh my God, I'm so stuck. I'll never get better. Rather than just being like, okay, I'm pretty stuck right now. What do I want to do about it? You can just kind of be like, whoa, I'm so stuck. This is so terrible. So you can proactively clear more and more of that tendency so that you're more likely to kind of keep your head when you're screwed up, to the extent that's possible. So yeah, let's clear fear and resistance around being triggered. So just anything that makes you afraid of being blocked or being triggered. And just put all that out in front of you, your fear of being triggered, and melt those energy blocks or blow them up. Because, you could freak out for 2 hours and just not do anything about it, or you could like get untriggered in like 2 minutes, and just move on with your day. So the second version is easier. So just put out in front of you any fear that you have consciously or subconsciously about being triggered. And just melt the energy blocks causing you to fear being triggered. Because, being triggered is a part of life, Things get triggered and ideally you clear them. You can proactively clear stuff, but, life is triggering. There's no way around that. Okay, so that was clearing fear of being triggered. So the last one I'm going to do is something I mentioned in that I don't think it was in the intro. It was when we were doing creative writing work. I did this little side speech about invasive beings and try to be more upbeat about it and not let that concept make you sort of spiral into negativity. But anyway, so you could have fear of what you can't see. Like some people are even afraid of angels, which, okay. I mean, fear isn't rational, Angels are always altruistic. They never, they're not controlling at all. They just are like your mentors. They try to protect you, but, they're very respectful. They're very kind. They're not judgy. But, some people, because you can't really, maybe they can't see them or hear them, they just are afraid because they're like, that's scary, Fear is not rational. So, but you can also be afraid of invasive beings. And, invasive beings are just rando little beings that are not altruistic, not especially kind, could be deceptive, could just, take your energy. Of course, you're much bigger than them, but plenty of people are afraid of beings, just because it's like a weird concept. Weird meaning it's not taught, and it's only like in mainstream society. There are some societies where that kind of thing is taught, but it's probably taught in a kind of a phobic way, first of all. And second of all, I know in US society it's not taught really, and it's only like shows up in like horror movies or something, or science fiction movies, as something really, really, really bad. So we don't want that. So let's clear fear of invasive beings so that it's just not a big deal. You can just work on being present, working on living a healthy life. Along the way, you clear some beings, no big deal. Okay, so put out in front of you any energy blocks that cause you to fear invasive beings and like really be spooked by them. So just any fear of invasive beings, any baggage that causes you to fear invasive beings, or anything you can't see, causes you to fear boundary issues with other people, causes you to fear angels even, any like fear of what you can't see, fear of energy stuff, fear of invasive beings. Just put all that out in front of you, all those blocks, and just melt them away or blow them up. Some people are afraid of people like me, energy healers, that they read some line in the Bible that, says we're all evil or something. So any fear of energy work, energy workers, beings, angels, all that stuff, just clear your fear so that then you can make your decisions from a more rational headspace. So take a deep breath, breathe into all your major joints. Again, put out in front of you any fear of beings, fear of energy workers, fear of angels, fear of whatever, fear of stuff you can't see. And just melt those energy blocks away. And I said that was the last, but I thought of another one that was good. Some people are afraid of, I call them manipulations, but a common term is curses. So some people are really afraid of curses from other people. Curses do exist, but able. Usually it's a little more hype than reality, but it can be real. It's just basically, I call them manipulations. It's like people can place energy in somebody else's space that controls them in a certain way, suppresses them in a certain way, whatever. Super bad karma. You will get so screwed so many times over for doing something like that. So I would never recommend it, of course. But anyway, if you can be so afraid of like, oh my God, I think she cursed me, or oh my God, that it's like now you have two problems. You have, maybe that person did something to you, but you could just remove it. But now you're freaking out about it, and it's like a whole thing with your life. Like, okay, good example actually. My former neighbor, she's since moved, so she doesn't live there anymore. She had a bag, like a sandwich baggie, a clear plastic bag with water in it and pennies, and it was hanging from her like she has this front door with like this awning over it, because it rains all the time here, so you have an awning over your front door a lot of times, and so it doesn't rain on you when you're trying to open it. And so she has this awning over the front door, and she had this bag of pennies like hanging over the awning, so it's like this really prominent like feng shui part of her house that's right before the front door. And she has this bag of pennies, which is basically like her saying to the world, like, I'm afraid of being cursed. I think people are cursing me and I'm afraid of it. And so supposedly that's supposed to, there's some, I Googled it because I saw it at actually the house before that we rented had that too. And I was like, what the hell is this bag of pennies thing in water? So apparently that's some kind of a, some people allege that helps with curses, which, good luck with that. But anyway, from what I can see, it all depends on your intention of something. I mean, some people use a cross for that, that are religious and Christian. They use a cross, and for them it's kind of like that, wards off evil, that kind of thing. Some people use like a, little eye symbol that's supposed to ward off, bad luck and curses from people. But it really depends on your intention. I mean, I don't have any objects like that. I just don't think it's necessary. I mean, if someone does something to you, then just remove it, and there's no way to prevent people from doing stuff to you. Like, an object in my home isn't gonna prevent someone from attempting that kind of behavior. The more present I am, the stronger and more flowing my energy is, the less possible it is. So that they, like Betty Boop might be trying to put, curses or manipulations in my space, but if I'm really present and flowing, it doesn't work. So she goes through her little motions and it doesn't work, or subconsciously, which is more likely, she tries, but it doesn't work. I don't get anything in my space, or I just happen to clear it the next day as I'm doing my energy clearing. It just kind of pops out because I'm so present. So, whatever. God, that was a huge side speech about fear of curses. But I think it's very relevant, and I think it's, like that's part of why people fear energy shifts, like any changes. They're like, what just happened? Did someone just do something to me? So let's clear that stuff. Fear of curses, fear of manipulations. Because, it's better it's more fun and empowering just to live your life and, and know that you're ready for whatever. And you have angels, and, that's that. Okay. So put out in front of you, that was explaining. So that was explaining fear of manipulations and curses. Manipulation and curses are the same thing, but I like to say manipulations because it's less spooky. But anyway, Abel. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. He has issues with his nervous system and his legs, but then he spirals on it, and it really freaks him out. It's okay, buddy. It's all right. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. All right, cool. So let's do it. Okay, put out in front of you energy blocks, any energy blocks causing you to be afraid of what other people might do to you. Invasive people and manipulations, curses, and this could be a subconscious fear from a past life that you had. You could be, in a past life, you might have been like my neighbor, I have people in this life that, are clients of mine that, have like evil eye things around and stuff. And sometimes it's part of your cultural heritage. So I don't mean to diss that. What I'm talking about is just the fear behind it, and that doesn't help. So, okay, so put energy blocks out in front of you that cause you to fear curses, cause you to fear manipulations, cause you to fear what people might be doing to you, and just blow up all that fear or melt it away with gold light. Okay, one more time. First, breathe into all of the joints in your body. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your butt. Okay, get rid of that fear, right? All the energy blocks causing you to fear manipulations, fear curses, fear, bad stuff from other people coming towards you. And just put all that up in front of you, all those energy blocks causing fear, and melt them away. All right, good job. Woohoo! All right, so that was clearing a whole bunch of fears that can cause you to can complicate energy shifts for you and make them not fun, and actually cause you to stop your own growth even, because like I said, one of the types of energy shifts that you can experience is from your own growth. Able baby. Okay, buddy. You just need to like run and work it out. All this nervous energy. Able. Okay, so so good. So now hopefully, sometimes you need to work that more though over time. So you can just say to yourself, yeah, I'm going to let my angels help me work on this. If I need more work on, clearing all those fears, I'm going to let my angels help me. Okay, good job. So then let's clear family burdens. I know some people are like, oh my gosh, yay! Clearing family burdens. So I already explained it in the intro. It's just stuff that has been dumped on you from typically your parents, and typically that was dumped on them from their parents and their parents and their parents. It's like a generational dump. And usually it can be energy blocks or like hard devices. And it'll be in the same place, from each, it's a hand-me-down of like a copy of this thing, whatever, a bunch of energy blocks or a device. And they're never healthy. So let's clear them. And it could inspire other people in your family to clear their copies as well. And it could also make it easier for you to be around family members or to communicate with those family members or to just have boundaries, energy boundaries with those family members. Because if you're all having the same block, it's like they kind of know a weak spot of yours. But if you clear that weak spot that they all have, then it's like it gives you a lot more strength and presence when you're around them or when you're just communicating with them on a spirit level. So it's good. So that was explaining clearing family burdens, which I also explained even more in the intro. So now we will do. Okay. So first we will do one, just so you can kind of see it potentially, or imagine. If you're not confident about your vision, just imagine. But then we'll just do a bunch at once, just to be more time efficient. So let's pick your mom, you and your mom. So go ahead and imagine a blob for yourself and a blob for your mom, and just imagine an bunch of energy blocks or a device, hard energy device that you both have. Just kind of have it kind of jump out at you so you notice it. Maybe you both have some constrictive thing around your upper arm on one side. It'll be like the exact same place, so maybe it's in front of your tummy and in front of her tummy. Maybe it's behind your head and behind her head. But imagine some like kind of a family burden, literally, that you both have. And you would have gotten it from her, because that's how these things work. They get handed down. And then so imagine her mom and her dad and see where she got it from. A lot of times it's mom to mom to mom, but it could be she got it from her dad and then she gave it to you and then she gave it, So you can just kind of, for your own enjoyment, see who she got it from, her mom or her dad. And then don't clear theirs, just clear yours. And then you could say to them, hey, your angels can help you clear yours if you want. But you don't even have to say it, because sometimes they're just not ready to clear it, and that way you're not overly triggering them. But just imagine your copy of whatever it was, like a big block in front of your tummy or a big block around your upper arm on your left side, whatever. Just imagine, a little mini you and this family burden that you have, and then just melt it away. And if you can't think of anything, just make it up. Because making it up is intuition, usually. So you're melting away a family burden that you have. And if it's not melting properly, just surround it in gold light, lift it off of you, and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay, so that was a family burden that you got from your mom. And then let's do one from your dad, and then we'll just do a bunch at once. So imagine a blob for you, or a little mini you, with however much detail you want. And imagine your dad in this life, your biological father, and imagine some block or device that you both have, like identically. So maybe it's around his left leg and your left leg, or whatever. It's the same place for both of you. And just imagine a family burden that is that way. And then look at, if it's a family burden, chances are then he got it from one of his parents. So go ahead and look at his parents as well. Just imagine them. And you're staying present. You're just imagining like little versions of them. And who also has that block. It could be both his parents, because maybe one gave it to the other. But imagine, did he get this block from his mom or his dad? And that's just for fun. Okay, and then like I said, just leave them alone. Don't even talk to them about it, and just melt your copy of the block. You can say, angels, please bless all the other people involved. Please help all the other people involved. Because angels aren't gonna be overly triggering about it. They're only gonna help and bring it up if the person's ready. If they're not ready to deal with it, they won't trigger them about it. So you're healing, you're running gold light through just the mini you, not everybody else, but just you. Just Use gold light to melt that family burden that you have, that you got from your dad in this life. And if it's not melting, just surround it in gold light and lift it off and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And then go ahead and breathe into every major joint you have, into every cell of your body. So, okay, so that was, we did one from your mom and then one from your dad. And then go ahead and just imagine a mini you and your mom and your dad, and just do any family burden that you're ready to get rid of that would be healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, and just for yourself. Don't touch them, because they're likely not ready to clear as much as you're ready to clear, and you don't want to do a group healing because that's not as safe. So just heal you right now, and just imagine all the family burdens that you are ready to clear that are healthy and gentle. And they could look like you're wearing heavy things, or it could look like stuff in your aura or in your grounding, but just all the family burdens that are healthy and gentle for you to get rid of right now. Surround them in gold light. You could freeze them if you want and lift them out and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And we'll do it a few times. So, just keep breathing in between, reground. Nice big grounding. Okay, so you imagine a mini copy of yourself and any family burdens that you're ready to get rid of, things that were handed down through, your father's side of the family or your mother's side of the family. Any family burdens you're ready to get rid of, just run gold light through them, soak them in the gold light, and loosen them up that way, and then just lift them out and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And just breathe into every cell of your body, all your major joints. Breathe into all your auras, your 17 auras all around you. And you can say, angels, please help any family member that needs it. Okay, and let's do family burdens again, but for the theme. So you may have family burdens that you got from either your mom's side of the family or your dad's side of the family, and they could be in the way of you letting angels help you, or in the way of non-resistance, or in the way of you surfing energy shifts easily. So anything in the way of all that is family burdens, just imagine that around you. You're imagining the mini you, mini version of yourself. You're imagining family burdens that are in the way of you with that theme: non-resistance, letting angels help, surfing energy shifts. Any family burdens in the way, run gold light through those family burdens. Loosen them up with the gold light and lift them all out at once to the healthy and gentle amount. Lift out the healthy and gentle amount of those family burdens. Give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, just imagine any burdens, which is just energy blocks and devices, hard objects, that you got from your mother, and she got from her, people before her in the family, or you got from your dad and he got from people before him in the family. Just imagine any of those family burdens that are in the way of your non-resistance, letting angels help, and surfing energy shifts well. And just imagine a healthy and gentle amount of those family burdens and lift those out with gold light and give them to your angels. And again, you're just lifting out from your own space, not everybody else's, because everybody grows at different rates, and it's best if what you just did releases a very gentle, inspiring sort of ripple effect. And so then if they're ready, it will help inspire them to work with their angels to get rid of it. All right, so one more time for the theme. Imagine a mini you, and imagine any family burdens that you have that are in the way of your non-resistance, in the way of you letting angels help, in the way of you kind of being confident and cool with energy shifts. And just imagine those family burdens, a healthy and gentle amount to get rid of right now. Just lift them out with gold light and give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And a couple deep breaths. All right, good job. Woo-hoo. Okay, so that was clearing family burdens. That just first we did just one at a time, one from your mom and then one from your dad that you got, and then we cleared a whole bunch at once, and then we cleared ones that were in the way of the theme that we're working today. All right, good job. So let's do stepping stones. So stepping stones, we worked it in a different way 2 days ago. I will link that video below in the comment section under the healing summary under optional video links. It'll say healing 1 of 3 if you want to see that one. But so stepping stones are angel suggested. We're imagining stepping stones to represent angel suggested next baby steps, you know, that are really approachable, and they're sort of ideal next steps that would help you get going in the right way. And we're imagining those stepping stones and seeing if the mini version of you can actually go on those stepping stones, or is there something freaking you out so you can't act on this angel guidance. And 2 days ago we cleared basically fears and all sorts of stuff from parents and whatever that was in the way of you taking action and going on those stepping stones and doing those steps. But today we're going to do it slightly differently. We're going to clear Deb's deep energy blocks that could be in the way of you taking those stepping stones. So go ahead and now Deb's deep energy blocks, those are repressed in the back of your aura, but they still clear easily. It's okay. You could use, you could put them out in front of you and blow them up or melt them with gold light, but you could also use that safe bomb exploding chamber. And that one might be more, you might like that more for this one just because Deb's are kind of intense. It's like your perception of them is that they're intense, which is why you shoved them back there. They're still just energy blocks, but anyway. So go ahead and put them out in front of you, either in that gold safe bomb exploding chamber that you make for yourself and then use your remote control to blow them up, or just put them out in front of you in a pile and melt them with gold light. If you're healing someone else, don't blow up their stuff, just melt stuff with gold light. Okay? So put out in front of you any Debs that you have that prevent you from taking action on what angels tell you to do. What angels say is the best next steps for you. If there's anything like any baggage that you have that freaks you out about that and prevents you from acting on these healthy ideas, just put those energy blocks out in front of you. Anything in the way of you taking action on angel advice, and just blow it up or melt it away. Melt away these Debs in the way of you acting on angel advice. And again, maybe you want to use your safe bomb exploding chamber and just keep loading it up and blowing up what's inside it, and then load it up some more and then blow up what's inside it with your little remote control. Or you can just, you know, put more out and melt it with gold light. So again, you can even imagine the stepping stones that represent, angel suggested little baby steps for you. The best little approachable next steps that you can take to get going in the best direction for you. And just imagine these stepping stones that your angels have suggested, and imagine, like, can a mini you step on these steps representing you taking action and taking action on this advice. And just see, can that mini you get on the first step? Can that mini you go from the first step to the second step? Can that mini you go from the second to the third step? If not, clear more debs. So just put out in front of you all the debs that freak you out and make it too hard for you to go on those stepping stones, and just blow up or melt away all the debs with gold light. So any debs in the way of you acting on angel advice. All right, good job. Woohoo! So that was Stepping Stones, today's version of the Stepping Stones exercise, where we cleared debs, deep repressed energy blocks that make it seem too freaky or scary or impossible for you to take these steps that your angels are suggesting that are ideal for you. All right, good job. You don't have to know what the steps are consciously. You can just imagine the stepping stones that represent what your angels would like you to try and do, and then just see if the mini you can step on the steps, and if not, keep clearing energy until you see you can step on all three. All right, good job. I think we're nearing the end. Let's just do chakra alignment. So just imagine your everything, the 17 auras, your physical body, your astral body, your groundings. If that's too much, you can just imagine the major chakras. So your 7th chakras are oriented like this, with the round opening in the top and the bottom. In there's the top of the round opening and the top of your head. So your 7th chakras are like this. Astral is inside physical if you're present. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are all oriented the same, with the round opening in the front and the back. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you just imagine, are those chakras aligned? Are they literally forming a straight line? Or are they kind of, oriented slightly differently? And just keep healing them until they pop into alignment. You get your 7th where you want it to be, unblock it enough, melt pores, and then just align the other chakras to that 7th chakra. And extra for 3, 2, 1. Sometimes people need extra with 4, 3, 2, 1. Chakras 4, 3, 2, 1. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you need a handout, if you'd like to see it written down, what each chakra does and where they are and the ideal colors, I do have a 2-page chakra handout that I can email you for no charge. So you can just email me and ask for the free 2-page chakra handout. My email is janet@janetwrightreadings.com. So again, we're doing chakra alignment. And then let's do magnetic alignment of chakras, which is just an extra step where you think about the gold force field that each chakra has, and that can get whacked out so it's not centered around the chakra. So like here's a simple drawing of say the 5th chakra round opening and the 4th chakra round opening, right? And so they're aligned because they're in a straight up and down line, but the magnetic field, the gold magnetic field around each of them, one is over here, one's over here. And so you just use this nice wide bunch of gold light through all your major chakras, through all the gold force fields, so that they pop into alignment. So you don't have to see it. You just imagine, and you're using such a wide flow of gold light that you're definitely going to be passing it through the force fields, the chakra, little magnetic force fields. And when they get healed enough, they pop back into alignment. And you may need extra time doing that with chakras 3, 2, 1, the lower ones. Just because, we get present from the top down, and so it's kind of easier to get upper chakras more in better shape. So again, we're doing magnetic alignment of chakras, which is running gold light through the force fields around the major chakras so that they click into place and center around the chakras. All right. And I didn't talk about creative ring flaps today, which is interesting because we did lots of creative ring work. So we can quickly do creative ring flaps and chakra flaps. So I'm not going to do my little diagram, but the flaps, they kind of stick out. There are these flaps on the side of the creative rings and flaps around round openings of chakras. And those flaps like stick out and they get irritated when you have cords going into them and blocks, energy blocks. So if you melt the cords and melt the energy blocks enough, the flaps relax and fall shut and flush with the ring, the creative ring, or the round opening of the chakra. So, yeah. This is just a quick version. If you need something, if you want to look up creative ring flaps, you can search Janet Wright creative ring flaps, and you'll find something a little more in depth. But if you do it with the top creative ring first and get that to relax and fall shut, the flaps, then that helps all the others. All right, and redo your gold buffer zones and just comb through your auras, comb through your groundings, unblock, imagine the blocks and melt them. All right, and you can just ask your angels to help you finish up. Say, angels, help me finish this healing. Please give me healing. And your angels know what you need, and the healing will last as long as it needs to with your angels. You can just go on with your day while your angels heal you. All right, so good job. That's a healing. You're amazing. Woo, woo, we did it. All right. So I don't have my cell phone, so I can't set my timer, but it's okay. Usually I ignore the timer anyway. So I will try to go through the comments that people have made while I was busy healing. And if you have any comments about how this healing was for you, that could be interesting. If it's not clear from your YouTube ID whether or not you're one of the 130 people I healed, you can, say if you got the healing from me or you just healed yourself. If you have a follow-up question about the theme of non-resistance, letting angels help, and surfing energy shifts, you could post it now. If I don't have time to get to your question, you can repost it under this video or any video, and I will post a reply when I have a chance. Someone says, hi Janet, good to see you from Madrid, Spain. Well, hello to you in Madrid, Spain. Someone says, hi Janet, after we finished our 4 basics, my mood started to decline. This doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm sure there's a good reason, and I'll look at it. You are healing me, and I am healing myself. Can you explain many things? Okay, so it was a little backlash from some invasive beings. You have some invasive beings that you have agreements with from past lives, and so the agreements, you have to clear the agreements to clear the beings. And so when you did the 4 essentials, that kicked them out of your space, and they got kind of pissed about that, and so they decided to, try to cord some of your energy blocks they could find and weasel their way back in. And so that was how you felt they sort of a decline in how good you felt. So it's just, you just line up, and anyone can do this, line up any invasive beings that you have agreements with from past lives. People make all sorts of really bad agreements with invasive beings when, they're not really being smart, basically. You've had a lot of past lives and did a lot of things, But anyway, and a good example is, people that get phobic about curses and stuff, they can get invasive beings that say, well, I'll protect you from that lady who's cursing you, and it's just an invasive being, like playing on your fears. So then you go, yeah, that's good. Protect me from those people cursing me, and you made an agreement now with an invasive being. So it's easy to clear though. So just imagine any agreements that you have with invasive beings, which are obviously not good agreements, and just imagine like pieces of paper or rocks or sticks, whatever, and just melt the agreements with gold light. I just say, angels, help me clear these agreements, and just melt them away with gold light. And that is something you could definitely repeat over time. Like I just cleared some, and obviously I've done it many times before, but sometimes the more present you get, the more strong you get, the more you're willing to get rid of things and, clean a house even more efficiently. So it's nice to do from time to time. So anyway, yeah, so it was just a little backlash you were experiencing. So hopefully, since then you feel better, and maybe since you cleared the agreements you feel better, because then, okay, when you clear the agreements, it's probably understood that then you're going to ask your angels to recycle those beings, but just in case it's not, once you clear the agreements, then you think of all those invasive beings that you had agreements with that you don't anymore, and say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? So you clear the agreements, and then by melting them with gold light, and then you just ask the angels to recycle those beings. So this is, hi Janet, how's my son doing? Thank you. And you mentioned your name, which is helpful. This one, today, I think because we cleared so many fears and family burdens. Yeah, he liked this theme. He was definitely, he's like, I'm here for it. He likes this one. So I guess his perception is he has a lot of burdens from family members, like ancestor kind of family members in this lifetime. So he liked clearing it. He liked clearing the fears, the fear of failure, the fear of disappointing others. He definitely liked this theme. And I reminded him that he can work more on it with his angels. So he said, yes, I will. So it's a good bunch of themes for him, he says. Someone says, hi, Janet, and you're mentioning your name from Phoenix, Arizona in the US. Drizzling here and it's cold, 60 degrees. Yes, cold, 60 degrees for you. That would be super warm for us to have 60 degrees in December. Oh, I would so take that. That's funny. If it were 60 degrees, I'd be like, oh my God, I have to garden as much as possible today. We don't have any 60-degree weather coming up until like probably next April. Maybe there'll be some fluke day in February where we'll get 60 degrees, but anyway. So it says, thank you. Oh, that same person says, thank you for the healing. I forgot about it, but then felt it and joined online. That's fun. You're healing me and my spouse. I'm also trying to follow along. How am I doing? Is there anything I need to know at this time? Well, obviously the family burden stuff, that's a big one. Your angels like it for you. Your wife likes this healing too because of the family burden, clearing family burden part. So yeah, that's all. Your angels give you a thumbs up. I mean, you do well when you heal yourself. So yeah, but you could redo, of course, the family burden part in particular. Someone says, thank you for healing me. During the healing, I was getting my youngest a haircut. Clearing disappointing others made me want to go to sleep. I got energized when we did clearing curses manipulation. And then you put a question mark. I also seen other people doing them to others and it working, which has caused fear. Did I do well? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't seem like your fear about it. Yeah, I think, yeah, it makes sense that you got energized when you were clearing curses and manipulations because, yeah, even though it still kind of freaks you out a little, you were very effective in clearing your fear of curses and manipulations. It's definitely something you could do more, later or do more in your sleep with your angels. You can just say, hey, I'm going to let my angels help me more with this if I need it. But yeah, it's clearing the fear of disappointing others is a good thing to do as a mom, probably. So, yeah, I mean, some cultures, cursing is still a very big thing, like conscious cursing or manipulations. In the U.S., at least the social circles I've been exposed to, it's not really much of a thing. Like people don't do that to other people. I'm sure some people do, but I've never been around people like that. But subconsciously, people wishing harm to other people or people feeling hate or resentment towards others, they could be doing manipulations on a subconscious level without knowing they're doing it. So it's nice to say, you can always say, angels, can you please undo any, unhealthy manipulations that I've done to other people that still exist out there. So then the angels help you to clean up your messes. Right. And that's the safest way to do it. Just have the angels undo any manipulations that you may have done to other people. Let's see. Someone says, will melting family burden for me and my spouse automatically clear from my kids? No, they will clear it as they are ready. But it is likely that they will clear. It's just that, maybe they're ready to do it like 3 weeks from now, so their angels will sort of save it up for them for 3 weeks from now or something. But yeah, so don't do it for them, just let them do it when they're ready. Hope that makes sense. Someone says, thank you for the healing, Janet. Feeling a little flat right now. Also, how have I been doing towards my move to a new city goal? I've been feeling good at my new job and also doing ball game exercise a lot for the move goal. Um, your Kundalini is off, so I mean that's part of the whole flat feeling. You could turn your Kundalini back on. For those that don't know, the Kundalini chakra is below the first chakra. You can also keep it at a nice red color, just like your first chakra. It spins, it generates Kundalini energy. Hopefully not when you're trying to sleep, but you can turn it off when you're trying to sleep. The Kundalini chakra, but otherwise, you could keep it going at like a low rate, so it's like a nice little mellow peppiness. It's not too much that you're like wired, but and that Kundalini energy goes up your spine, so you can imagine it like a nice centering kind of red color or some. I mean, you could do like a blue or purple Kundalini energy too. It's just the volume of that energy, you want it to be only enough so that you can stay present and really enjoy the little pep. As far as your move goal, if you imagine the moving steps that your angels want you to take right now, it seems like it's hard for you to put your foot on the first stepping stone for moving. It's like there's this, like air hockey where the air shoves your foot off the step. The air looks like it looks like fear of disappointing your parents. So you can work on clearing that. Fear of abandoning your parents, fear of disappointing your parents, that kind of thing. Your mom plays these head games about, you're the good one, you're the good daughter. You can like remove any pieces of energy, especially in your fourth or your seventh. You don't have to worry about where they are, but that's probably where they are. That you're the good daughter, and so you need to especially, fulfill her expectations of you because you're the good one. So you can clear that. I don't remember what the ball game exercise is. I know it was recent, but my memory is so bad. I'll like make up names of things and then I won't even remember what it was. I remember I liked it, but I don't remember what the ball game exercise is. So sorry. But it does look like you're clearing a lot of it. You're clearing what you need to clear and you're experiencing what you need to experience as far as the current job that you have, that current new job that you have. So you definitely get a thumbs up on that one. You're getting more and more and more present while you're there, which helps speed the learning process. Okay. Hi, Janet. I healed myself. Yes, I did not heal you. I liked clearing all the fear blocks. I don't think I healed you. No. Yeah, no. Is there any area my angels would like me to work on more? Yeah, those, the family burdens. They like that a lot for you. Yeah, they think especially it'll help you around the winter holidays. Just keep clearing family burdens. So that it's just easier to be around them and easier to have boundaries with them, whether or not you're physically around them. You are getting more present as a mom. Like, you're kind of, I think, because there's specific baggage that'll trigger around, specific things. And you can keep doing more of it, but you've come a long way as far as clearing whatever triggers with you as a mom. Like all the responsibility, all the, fears, all the whatever. So you could keep clearing mom baggage. But yeah, family burdens, clearing those more like we did today would be good. Someone says, hi, Janet. I'm struggling to maintain boundaries with my two daughters. They are super clingy and demanding right now. Any advice? Yeah, they're kind of funny. Ideally, you would have put their initials and their ages, but that's fine. Yeah, they can just zoom right into your grounding and your first chakra. I mean, they have the chords with the first chakra, which is appropriate, but the problem is it's supposed to be a one directional flow, the first chakra, between your first chakra and their first chakra on a physical level. So it's supposed to just have red earth energy and red your courage energy, courage, safety energy going to their first chakras. But what they end up doing is they reverse the direction of it, and they send their energy into your first chakra, because it's like, if you imagine like a car, they're trying to drive the car and you're supposed to be the driver of the car, of the family. Like, you're supposed to be the authority figure. Part of it is they're just working out their anger about the divorce. You know, the divorce is unsettling to them and they're angry at both you and their dad for it, which is a natural human emotion. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's actually good that they're expressing it, you know, and that you're not like so repressing them that they're not allowed to be angry, because then they can kind of get it out of their system. You know, the angels showed me at one point, like maybe like a pillow punching exercise where you guys, you know, yell and punch pillows, you know, like line up a whole bunch of pillows on the bed and just everybody scream and punch the pillows and say, I'm angry about this, I'm angry about this, I'm angry about this, and I'm angry about this. The idea would be, you know, make it a fun exercise, make it okay, and then be done with it. You know, just say, hey, we're going to have 1 minute where we yell and punch our pillows, and then we're going to just, you know, kind of move on from that, you know, and we could do it again later, you know, but let's get it out of our systems for now so that it doesn't, we don't have to be cranky all night. Yeah. You can all punch some pillows and yell, you know, and then assuming that you aren't renters, and that would cause a lot of problems. So maybe just punching the pillows without yelling if you're renting and you have neighbors next to you that don't want that. But yeah, yeah, I think if you just give them a format to express anger and kind of work out their frustrations, then they would kind of, it's like they're little pots that want to boil over. And if you just let them boil over with the anger and punch the pillows, punch the heck out of those pillows, and then they can go back down to like a simmer. Their Kundalini chakras are kind of extra on sometimes, you know, like it's like if you imagine like a bunch of kids at recess like screaming and screaming and screaming, you know, and they all just like encourage each other, and so all their Kundalini is like, so that's kind of going on with them. Like their Kundalinis get up to high when they're like that. So just, you can heal you're the mom and they're young kids, so you can heal their Kundalini chakras and just calm them down, you know, and just use red earth energy and gold light and just, you know, calm them down to like, it's like as if it's a blender speed and you want the blender speed to be low, not like super high, you know. And so you could do that too, like twice a day maybe, just to calm them down. Also, I wonder about sugar intake and food coloring as well. Although I don't think that's like the primary thing that's going on, but you could kind of watch that. Your kids could be more sensitive to that stuff. Okay, so hope that helps. Fun fact, food coloring is, I think, banned in the UK. Like, either banned or really discouraged. I mean, in the EU, in Europe, probably the UK also. But like in the US, like, you know, mac and cheese will be like day glow fluorescent orange, because in the US, you know, there's a lot less regulation, and so a lot of kids get a lot of food coloring, and it's not, it's possible that, you know, whatever. I'm not a scientist, but, you know, it's not allowed in the EU, I know. And like, so the EU mac and cheese won't be fluorescent orange like ours is. But anyway, it might be having an effect on the behavior of children. Okay. Doing the essentials on the fly has been a game changer for the quality of my day. Oh, good. So awesome that my mom and I both got a healing for family burdens. Yeah, that is nice. How did my mom, and you're mentioning all their names. Yeah, your mom, your friend, and your sister-in-law. They did well. Your sister-in-law, she was having a grounding issue. It's really good that you list them all out when you do your survey. Just list all their names, even if you don't have specific feedback for each one, because that way I can just kind of glance at each of their energies and make sure they're doing okay. Your sister-in-law, she was having a bit of a grounding issue yesterday when I was looking at surveys, and so I reminded her to let her angels help her ground, and she was like, "Oh yeah, okay." But they all did really well today. Your mom is really like she rocks these healings. It's very interesting to see that. But so Peggy and Christine, I mean, they did well, but your mom is very funny. She's very, she clears a lot of energy in these healings. So okay, someone says, "Hi Janet, we caught the end and we'll watch later. I've been having a lot of health issues, wondering if the angels have any advice. Also, how did my son do with the healings? Thanks so much." Yeah, so with health issues, like with any sort of events like that you're curious about, you can look at, okay, is this a challenge that I'm supposed to have, that I'm supposed to go through, and it wasn't supposed to be smaller or less challenging than it currently is? Or is it a challenge that is kind of like there's a lot of wiggle room and I can clear a lot of energy to sort of, either that this challenge might not have happened in the first place if I had cleared more energy beforehand, or I could just clear more and it'll be a lot easier. Like my driving thing that happened when I was in the snow and pitch black and all that I described in the intro, that was just like a challenge. The angels wanted to test me on how good am I under pressure and what skills do I use, in the moment. But anyway, with you, it looks like there's a lot of room for optimizing your energy. I mean, I think there is a little bit of a test aspect to it where your angels are like, okay, well, let's see, when you really do have a health issue, do you remember like GB and CB meridian? Do you remember like third chakra, second chakra, first chakra are more related to body functioning than the upper chakras, Do you remember like chakra filaments? The chakra filaments, you could definitely do that more. And GVCV, you could definitely do that more. GV and CV meridians. For other people that don't know, you could search GV space CV meridian. Janet Wright, GV, CV meridians, and you'll find some stuff. Those are major traditional Chinese medicine energy meridians of the body. If you search Janet Wright GV space CV, you'll find stuff. Yes, I would say filaments, supersizing 3, 2, and 1. Supersize chakras. So you just unblock 3, 2, and 1 and expand them enough so that it's easier to fit into them. I don't feel like it's like the sickness that you've been going through is like you messing up or anything. I just think it's sometimes people manifest sickness because they're clearing a lot of energy. And it's sort of like, like there's you before the sickness and there's you after the sickness. And you want to kind of level up and be a new version of you. And so the sickness is a way to just clear a lot of energy and kind of force yourself to rest and invest in yourself. And sometimes to realize some of your vulnerabilities that you've been ignoring because you've been focusing on taking care of other people. And so sickness kind of, shoves those vulnerabilities in your face so you can't ignore them anymore, so you have to address them. So speaking of which, healing inner wounds, that could be nice too. But CV meridian too, that's the one that has to do with yin energy and vulnerable energy, being vulnerable and subtleties and nurturing yourself and all that. So GVCV, chakra filaments, supersizing 3, 2, 1, and healing inner wounds. Those are the things that I think could kind of accelerate your recovery or minimize the sickness. Your son, he liked it. He he thought it was. He especially liked clearing family burdens. He said he got a lot from his dad, and so he's gonna work on this more with his angels. But it worked. He liked it. So that's nice. So it says thank you for the healing of my two family members. Yes, how did they do? And I don't know if you heard my the creative rings. When we did creative rings, you could re-listen to that part because I did this little side speech about beings and fears about invasive beings and stuff. So that could be nice to listen to. And also when we cleared fear of energy shifts, and we did like 7 different types of fears that we were clearing. The 6th one was fear of beings, clearing fear of beings and stuff. So that they could be good for you to do if you want. But your family members, your mom, she's smiling about that family burdens one. She said that's amazing. She's not one to really gush about these healings, at least to me. But she was very sort of moved positively by the family burdens clearing. She said her mom was very burdened, and she took a lot on from her mom, and so she really likes it, and she feels like she is happy that your brother got this healing and that you'll be working it on your own, because she feels guilty that she gave you guys some burdens, and so it kind of makes her feel relieved that this is even possible to do, that you can clear family burdens and stuff. So yeah, she really likes it. Your brother, he's sort of more, like on and off about it. He's not gushing. He says the stepping stone stuff was really interesting because there are steps that he feels like he should take that have been, like he's been overly resistant to them. So he's going to work on that more with his angels, the stepping stone part. But they both did well. It's just that your brother's more sort of sober about talking about it, and your mom just had a really good time. Okay, someone says, hi Jenna, thank you. My hubby and myself, we experienced a troubled night and day where we whacked. Maybe my brother. Ideally, you would put his initials, but that's fine. I know you only have one brother, and I've read him before, so that's okay. Your brother actually is more intense on your husband than he is on you. I don't know if that makes sense to you consciously, but yeah, he is intense on your husband right now. Like intense meaning he's courting some of your husband's baggage and sending his energy there. So I'm going to say hi to your husband. Yeah, I told him he could do Gold Sandstorm. I was like, are you going to put up with that? Because sometimes he gets really passive when a family member is sending energy and, like manipulating him. He'll just kind of be like, because it's like an old habit of being, screwed over by family members. So, but anyway, he's doing Gold Sandstorm to sort of hold his ground and clear your brother's cords. But yeah, I think back then when you yeah, like right now your brother isn't messing with you, but if I do look at like it's a Saturday evening, it seems like Saturday afternoon your time and evening your brother was whacking you a lot. So anyway, uh, I don't know which night and which, you know, yeah, it looks like Friday night on the astral. Yeah, what's his deal? um, I asked him, I said, what's the deal? You know karma's real, right? And he's like, oh, and he went away. So he's not bothering you guys anymore. You might just have to remind him that karma's real, and, you know, maybe he doesn't want to do things that would wreck his karma and cause himself lots of problems in the future. So anyway, someone says, thanks for healing. Thanks for the healing, Janet. My mind feels much clearer. Oh, that's so nice. Good for you. Someone says, hi, thanks for the healing. One change I am considering is adopting a second dog. We met a super sweet guy, dog, meaning Herbie, and I'm wondering if this is a good thing for both my dog and me. So what I would say is I would just ask you to ask your angels about timing. And is this the right timing? Because it's not an issue of if it's a good dog for you and your dog. It's a question of, is this the right time, and when is the right time for you to get a second dog that would be a good match for you guys? Because your angels, they try to talk to you about timing, and you tend to not listen, and you're more thinking about, well, picking the right animal, but they keep trying to communicate things to you about timing that you're not hearing. I think your mom's a little bit in your space about it. Like when you try to hear your angels about timing of pets. So maybe just clear your fifth layer more. So that helps. So this is, hi Janet, I've been working on energy healing without really reading into all the details the way I usually do. Oh, very nice. I noticed I subconsciously fix stuff on an energy level, and I'm trying to trust my intuition. There you go. How have I been doing with my energy safety for like the past week or so? You're so funny. You even type out like for like the past week or so. Anything you notice that I should work on more, or angel feedback? Thanks, Janet. I mean, I say like too, but if I'm typing, I won't type it out. So the question is, anything you should work on more, or angel feedback? Well, they definitely like the less complicated version of you. They like the simplicity vibe that you're on. They're like, more of that. It's like mental simplicity. So they're like, keep going with that. They're like, that's maybe 20% of what you could do with it. There's another 80% of mental simplicity that you could keep working, and it could really help with your energy flow and your confidence and your presence and your safety and everything. So they really like that. So they're like, keep working mental simplicity, the simplicity of your thoughts. Also clear your fifth layer, your fifth chakras, your fifth chakra filament. But they're like, clear energy blocks in the way of you having mental clarity and mental simplicity, though. Okay, so that helps. But they do give you a thumbs up about so far so good. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I feel better now. Oh, good. I always feel better after you answer my questions. That's nice. Good to know. Someone says, Asia, Indian subcontinent, and possibly Africa, cursing, in my opinion, is a big thing, but I feel it is mostly subconscious. Yeah, I forget the country that I had a bunch of clients at one point from a certain country. It was in Asia, but I forget which country it was. It wasn't South Korea, it wasn't Japan, it was, yeah, I'm not going to remember which one it is though, but they said that cursing was like a literal conscious common thing in their culture. I was like, oh, sorry. That's hardcore. But anyway, okay. So you're just commenting about cursing, yes. But of course, the point with cursing is that it can be cleared. It's just, cords, energy blocks, devices, just standard stuff that we clear all the time. So it can be cleared with gold light and angel help. Someone says, how am I doing on the stepping stones? Good question. You can go on the first one, second one, third one is like, So, what's making you not step on the third stepping stone? Your mom's in your space. You don't want to disappoint her. Fear of disappointing your mom. Especially your mom. Fear of abandoning your mom. Fear of, yeah. It's like you have this sort of hero complex. Like you want to save, you want to, specifically with her, more than anyone else in your family, you want to kind of make her life it's like you feel like she's broken and you need to fix her. But the thing is, your mom, I mean, you get her these healings and she is repairing at the rate that she can handle. So I guess just put out in front of you the energy that makes you stuck on fixing your mom, and stuck on like not disappointing her. And also like, because, her and unmarried daughters, she kind of has that special fixation on any of her unmarried daughters. So you can just look at, okay, what's the energy that I have from my mom in my space as an unmarried daughter? And just look at that. My birth mother is, she was fixated on her daughters getting married, but more than that, she's racist. So she was fixated on her daughters marrying, she's racist and classist. So she was fixated on her daughters marrying white, rich, Catholic, tall men. She was very specifically fixated. And so my husband is African American and not religious, but spiritual. And, and we don't even talk to them. So she's super stuck about the whole thing. I didn't marry a white man, not even the first time around. And, so, I would clear energy, her energy out of my space for not fulfilling her, her fixations about who I should marry. But, it happens. It happens. But yeah, I think if you work just a little bit more on clearing energy around not wanting to disappoint her, it's like it's a little different when your mom is likable versus when your mom is not likable. Like my mom is not particularly likable. She's a very mean person, not to go into too many details, but but you can still get stuck from mean people's expectations too and not wanting to disappoint them. I mean, because like your inner child still wants to make them proud, even though that ship has sailed. So anyway, yeah, just keep working on clearing the need to make her proud, the need to fix her life, the need to, have her dreams for you come true, blah, blah, blah. What the helps. Someone says, hi, Janet, thanks for the healing. I am currently triggered with fear, anxiety related to, you're mentioning his initials, losing clients, decreased income. Any suggestions? Is he making progress with his career path? He's interesting. It's like that he's trying to make changes and get to a really different, it's like part of his spirit and his higher self wants him to have a completely different career, but he's sort of opting to like destroy this one first and then sort of have to do a different career. Like part of him is really fixated on this career, and so it's like he needs to just burn it down and then realize like, oh, let me do something else. So obviously you're trying to avoid the whole, reduction of income destruction phase. So I just said, I said to him, you want to talk to your angels about that so that maybe there's a way that's not so painful for you and the family. And he's like, yeah, okay. He's like, I'll work on that with my angels. Yeah, because he's just kind of exhausted at the way things are going, and he really wants like a really different life and a really different lifestyle for himself. And so he's just like all his anger and frustration is destroying his career as a way to, before getting the new one. But he's letting his angels help him with that now. So you can just, check on that every now and then and just see if your angels are, if he's working with his angels on that, so that he can change his life in a way that's simpler, less dramatic. Men like low drama and they like simplicity in general. So it's a stereotype, but it's often true, and it's true for him. So that would be a nice angle to go from and just be like, hey, I think your angels can help you find a simpler way that's less drama. Less drama for you and me. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I would just say, you have income. So, you can talk to your angels about it. It could be that you're meant to live just on your income for a while. And you may have to make big changes in your life because of that. You may, have to, reduce your standard of living because you're a one income family instead of a two income family for a while. And you can just clear all your baggage around that. There's no big horror about having one income versus two. It's just that you may have in your mind that certain things have to stay the same, but if he needs to change and transform in his life, he needs to change and transform in his life, and so just work on that with your angels. That's something that's just between you and your angels, working on being able to clear all your baggage and fear and assumptions and judgments about being a one income family versus being a two income family. And so that, that your own baggage and fear isn't in the way of, hearing your angels and just enjoying your life. So I hope that makes sense. Probably my answer freaked you out too. Sorry. But, sometimes it's the elephant in the room. But yeah, if you just work on clearing your fear around being a one income family. That way there's nothing to fear. Because it's not like you can't feed yourself. It's just that you have to make changes in your life to be able to, But anyway, you get it. And you're a pretty present person, so it's good timing. Someone says Indonesia and Morocco as well. Yeah, thank you. That's interesting. Yeah, about curses of the countries that that are currently active with conscious curses. That's kind of extra hardcore. It's not that in the U.S., people don't do manipulations to other people. They do. But when it's sort of socially condoned and conscious, then it's much more frequent. But it still they can all be removed. Anyway, someone says, thanks for the insight, Janet. You're welcome. All right, cool. You guys are amazing. Congratulations on, just working with your angels, letting your angels heal you. You're super awesome. And the third healing in this set, it's a set of 3 healings. The third healing is in 2 days, on Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. And then there will be a twin set towards the end of this month, on the 18th and 20th of December, which will be really cool too. Help you clear energy, get closure on 2022, and do proactive clearing for 2023, which I'm excited about. All right, so you guys are awesome. Hopefully I don't regret this, but I will do animal cam and film the chaos that ensues in the next minute as I let the dogs out of their little houses. Alrighty, so here comes the animal cam for, you'll see my 3 dogs. That's Daisy right there. That's Izzy right there. And then Abel is the one that's going to have the cone on his head. All right. So that's Daisy that I was just working with right there. And then this is Abel right here with the cone on. Hey, Abel. Hey, Abel. And that's Izzy Dizzy right there. All right, guys, you're amazing. Take care. You're